A lot of water and whatever this color is, kind of a whitish, pale. Mix it with a little bit of white. So I'm going to use a little different technique than with the tiger. I'm going to start on the body here, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint in the lightest color that I see pretty much throughout the whole deer. Kind of going in the direction of the fur. It's actually a little lighter here, so I'm going to go in and use some water and pull that out with a paper towel. And even go even lighter on the face. Oops. I think there was some black in that paint. It's okay. Oh, that's right. There's lots of water. And I'm just going to go I don't want as many watermarks on this one. So, okay. Let's see. I'm going to get my big sweeping colors in this first pass. So I'm going to look at the red in the coat, the reddish color. So I'm going to start with kind of this sepia color. And just tap that in. This is just going to be a background. I'm going to go in later, and I might even go in with some colored pencils and add some details. I use colored pencils over watercolor a lot to define if I decide I want it to be a little bit more, not realistic, but defined. Just put a little bit more color on the ears there. Some in the, there's a little bit of this color on the face, but not a lot. So I'm not gonna, there's a lot on the, okay, so I'm gonna all right, a little bit in the ears. So this is gonna, when you do this type of foundation, it really lightens up, and this becomes the background or the foundation colors, and you let it dry. Then you're going to go back in with your detail. Watercolor is very, it's very forgiving. I love it because it's so different from oil or acrylic, where you're just married to that immediately, the details, whereas with watercolor you can just look at the big shapes. So I'm looking at the big shapes right now in the neck. and the big shapes in the body. And right now I'm just looking at this big orange. I'm just looking at it just really as a big orange kind of shape. Looking at the direction that the fur grows. And right there on the neck, there's some dark fur. It's like a big sloppy mess, and that's okay. Right down here, there's some dark fur. I just love watercolor. It's so fun. And there's nothing, it doesn't have to look like your original to make it look beautiful. That's why I love painting like this, because it'll still look like a deer. It doesn't have to look like the deer that you started with. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the face. Well, there's a little bit of red up here that I want orange-ish. So that now that this ear is dry, I'm going to go in and just kind of tap these lines that are in the ear and let those just dry to define whatever structure this is that I'm not even sure because I don't know anything about deers, but I'm just gonna put that in there. I don't know what it is, but okay. All right, let's go. I'm gonna get some darkers now, darker colors, just brown and let's see. And I'm going to start with the ear so that I give the coat a little more time to dry, because here on the ear there is still some more darks. Just tapping that darkness in so it can kind of run right in there, right around this little ear structure there, because there's some shadow. And it's going to sit on top because it's starting to dry, which is good. There we go, right here. And right there. Right in this edges here. In a few minutes, I'm going to go in and smooth out that color. Right now, I don't love it. It's too but I want to give it a chance to soak into the paper a little bit. And I'm going to go smooth it out. That was what I did there. All right. Remember, sloppy is good. We are not going for exact here. We're not going for anything that looks remotely realistic. We'll get there, but right now we're just going for something that looks like a deer painting in watercolor. I'm gonna go to a smaller brush. There are plenty of watercolor tutorials where you can get realism. Although if you really want super realism, you probably should be going more with oil or acrylic. Watercolor is really not for realism, but it can be done. I'm just going to add a little bit of water here. Let's see, and now I'm going to go underneath the neck. It's getting dry, so I need to so right here, there's this really nice and then it kind of goes right up in here and right in here. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit and then we'll go back and play around with it. I'm gonna go down here and start to pull up some darks where the haunch, so I'm down where the haunch is and the leg. Wouldn't be a haunch if it's in the front. It would be, well, front leg, I guess. Not sure what that's called. There's a brightness on the back of its neck that I kind of darkened out that I want to try to get back in here. There we go. If it's not yet dry, you can pull that out and try to maybe put a lightness back in there. And then contrast it with a darker color next to it, and that will make it look dark, make it look brighter. Go. I'm going to go in and work on the nose, but I want the surrounding paper dry so it doesn't bleed. So I'm going to go in and same with the eyes. Let's go in now, put a little more dark in here. A little more dark right here. I've gotten a smaller brush now. And I'm adding some dark to some of the areas around the ears where I see some details. I'm gonna go in and put a little more orange in there too. Some darkness up here around the ear. And there's definitely darkness here. And there's darkness here. There's some darkness here. And I'm going to go put some more of this orange color and mix with a little bit of brown. And I'm going to go right in here. Here. Okay, so now in the face, there's some fun colors in the face. I'm just adding colors where I see color. The more you add, the more depth it gets as the paint dries. What you're looking for is depth, and it gets muddy if you do it all at the same time, which is why you move around and you do things at different times so that the paper dries a little bit, and you can go back and work when the paper's a little more dry somewhere, and then the paint will lay on it or not soak in to the same degree. So like right now, it's a little wetter over here, and the paint is going to act differently than it is acting over here. You just have to kind of play with it and get comfortable with the way the paint acts. And you can't control it all the time, and that's part of the beauty of it, I think. In the end, it's going to turn out the way it's going to turn out, and it's the natural look of the painting. But if you put the color where you think the color should go, then that's how you get an animal to look the way. So I'm still keeping this side completely light because this side is light in the photograph, and there's this lightness around the face. So I haven't disturbed those areas. There's the lightness in the ear that I haven't touched because that is there in the picture. So that's what's going to keep it looking like a deer. And I'm just going in and touching up the areas I want to continue to build up that color. So there's still a little bit of darkness down here in the coat, and there's still a bit of more red that I really missed the boat on the white dots. I should have left more when I was doing the initial pass, but I might be able to go in and add some gouache over that little translucent color to make some lighter areas of the coat. That's okay, because my deer doesn't have to look like the deer in the picture. Area over its eyes should be a little lighter, so I'm just going to pick up that area with the paper towel over here too. Little area around its nose should be a little lighter. Okay. gonna go in with just water and see if I can lighten this area right here above its eye. If the paint isn't completely dry, I'll be able to lighten that. There we go. There we go. And then there's a little dark there, which is good. I want to lighten this area right here. So I'm going to go in with just water, pull that up with the paper towel. Okay, that's nice. I need to pull up a little bit of right here. I think it's gotten a little dark right here. Right, nice. I don't mind that it bleeds out. It's I think one of the things that makes it fun. But I am going to soften some of these hard edges here, because they will dry very, very harsh right there. And right up here. And when I do my backgrounds, I usually just I don't worry too much about. I certainly don't put it in the whole area. I just put it in some of it. And I don't worry if it bleeds, because I don't want to wreck my spatter. So I'm just going to go with that right now. Put some thicker color up here at the top.